Boom, what it do? It's your boy, Simon the Speaker, aka your cleaning guide to cleaning business success, and I'm back with another video. If you're new to this channel, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification. We drop videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. At the end of this video, please, if you felt that I put in at least effort to give you some value, right, or you actually got value from this video, click the thumb button, give me a like, I would appreciate it. Comment below as well. The detail section of this video, there are two very important links. The first link is going to be our school community link. Yes, that is our remote cleaning business community where we teach people how to start, scale, and automate their cleaning business as a collective. And then the other link that you're going to actually see is my one-on-one consultation. So if you're looking to book a one-on-one consultation, it is a free consultation. Literally, you have everything to win and nothing to lose, everything to gain and nothing to lose. Book that free consultation, and I would be more than willing to get on a call and talk to you, right? Maybe you're looking to start a remote cleaning business to pay off debt, take your family on vacation, maybe put money in your child's college fund account, right? Or college savings account. You can technically run this model, right? You can run this model even with a 9 to 5. So, I think it's definitely a good business model to get into while having that 9 to 5. But with that being said, let's get into the video today. Cancellation policy. So, for those that don't know what a cancellation policy is, it is a policy that deals with cancellation. What happens if someone cancels, in what time frame, right? What happens when they cancel in the ample amount of time frame, which is usually nothing, and then what happens when they cancel and they cancel within a time frame that, obviously is identified as a wrong time frame or not a good time frame. So, for example, if they cancel day of, what does that look like, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit for the most part, but I just want to kind of bring this up because a lot of times when cleaners are starting their cleaning company, they don't have a cancellation policy. And what tends to happen is that clients will cancel and just especially if they're price shopping, right? They'll just cancel on you with no repercussions, right? And the problem is it becomes a repercussion on your end because that was availability that could have been given to somebody else. That's the foundation of that. We're charging you because we could have used this slot and gave it to another client that would have needed cleaning, whether there was someone calling in or whether it was a follow-up that you did. And because you're now canceling the appointment day of, and we can't technically give this slot out away, then obviously we do need some type of compensation for the cancellation. That sounds pretty cool. Compensation for the cancellation. That's actually really cool. Okay, so let's get into it. Communicate. So this is pretty much a pretty simple, my simple strategy on cancellation, right? I communicate it. I have a late fee, and then I always have a card on file just in case. We'll go through it. So the first one is communicate the policy clearly. So 24 to 48 hour notice required. So that's very important. So I tell my clients as well that if you do want to cancel, no problem. As long as you let us know 24 to 48 hours, we will not have a problem. We will not charge you. So what I like to, and this, like I said, this is my strategy. You may say, hey, I don't want to do the 48 hours. As long as you let us know the day before, you're good. You may say, hey, as long as you let us know between 2 to 3 days, it all depends on how you want to actually do that for yourself. So with that being said, 24 to 48 hour notice required just to allow your clients to know, like, hey, we need some time before you just cancel and let us know. Because there are times where you may tell somebody, hey, I'll give you an example, right? There may be a client that wants a Thursday, and that Thursday is already filled up. And you said, hey, we'll give you that Friday, but if something opens up, we'll let you know. If you were to let the client know that something opened up day of, don't get me wrong, they might take it, but you don't know what that client has to do that day, right? So they might say, hey, I can't do that day anymore. Versus 24 to 48 hour notice. If I have a client that wants something done on Thursday, I don't have the availability, so I give it to her. I put it on a Friday, right? I put it for a Friday. But now I know Wednesday or even Tuesday that, hey, the client that I had Thursday needs to actually cancel and it's opened up. That gives my client more than enough time to readjust her schedule if she needs to anyway. So with that being said, 24 to 48 hour notice And then what we do is we want to make sure that we're communicating it clearly. We want to tell them while we're booking them, tell them in a confirmation message, and tell them in a reminder text. Whenever you're communicating to a client about their booking, somewhere within that communication should be a reminder saying, hey, just let you know, all we ask, if you are going to cancel, if something does come up, please just give us a 24 to 48 hour notice. Give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. But yeah, so whenever you're communicating that with the client, within the confirmation, within the booking when you're talking to them, when you're first booking them, within the confirmation message and the reminder text, we need to remind them, look, if you're gonna cancel, just give us a 24 to 40 hour notice. And the reason we do this is because it leads to fewer disputes. You can now say, hey, I recorded the call, I checked the call recorded, I told you about the cancellation. Look at the confirmation message you received, if the cancellation message is in there. Look at the reminder text that you received, it's also in there as well. So usually that will tend to lead to fewer disputes. Now don't get me wrong, does that mean someone is not going to try to dispute it still? No, you will have those customers that tend to still try to dispute and get their money back. But nonetheless, if you can show evidence that, hey, I've communicated this multiple times, right? Then at that point, you'll get fewer disputes. It protects your cleaning schedule as well. So understand, you're working with contractors. So it's the same thing for us as for them. When they book an actual appointment with us, or not book an appointment with us, but when we get them for an appointment, right? Let's say we assign them for an appointment, that slot that they've given us is now taken, right? And give me sorry about that, y'all. So that slot that they've given us is now taken. If someone were to say, hey, I need your Thursday at 3, and they gave us Thursday at 3, they're going to tell that other client, hey, I can't do Thursday at 3. You know, the client may be willing to reschedule, or maybe the client may say, hey, if you can't do it, no worries at all. Imagine that, and then we let them know, hey, day of, you know, the client canceled. See you. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Same thing for us is the same thing for them. It's like, well, I could have booked this other client for a client at 3, and I took you guys. I took your appointment, hoping that you guys would be able to follow through on this appointment. And depending on the contractor, some contractors will also say, hey, you know, I charge a cancellation fee as well. So it also becomes an expense on the business, right? If someone is canceling and now your contractor is also signing a cancellation, also requiring a cancellation fee, that may be a problem. Now, obviously, there are ways around that, right? You may sit there and have a contractor agreement where it's like, hey, you know, you can't charge them for cancellations, or you may have a contractor agreement that says, hey, as long as you let me know 24 hours or 12 hours or whatever, that's okay. But if you let me know day of as well, then I am going to charge you a cancellation fee as well. But nonetheless, you just want to protect the calendar, just the same way with ours, right? We want to make sure that we have available spots for clients that want cleanings. And so same with them, they want to make sure that there's available spots. So we're giving them a cleaning and they're putting us down on their calendar as, you know, for an appointment that they have, but we cancel on them same day. It may mess up their schedule as well. And it gives you time to rebook the slot. Going back to what I was saying in my first example, if I have someone that needed a Thursday, I have to push them to Friday, but now I have availability on Thursday because Thursday canceled and they let me know 24 to 48 hours ahead, I can rebook that slot. I can rather get someone new in there by doing follow-ups with my past clients, or maybe we have an inbound lead that comes in and they're looking for a Thursday. Or going back to what we were talking about, I may have that Thursday or that Friday client that now wants to revert back to Thursday as well. So nonetheless, the main point of this, you just want to make sure you communicate that policy, the cancellation policy. You want to make sure that you're communicating it clearly. You want to make sure that we're communicating it enough time so that the actual client can't say, well, hey, I didn't know about it, where it's like, hey, I told you I have to record a call, plus the confirmation message, plus the text as well, the reminder text. So it just, you know, it covers yourself. Second is charging a late cancellation fee. Typical structure, 24-hour window miss. So if they miss the 24-hour window, 50%, you charge them 50%. And then if it's the same day cancellation, you can charge them 100%. Those are just examples. They do vary. Some people do 50%, 24 hours, and maybe 75% the same day. Some people do, if you miss the 24-hour window, will do it for 25%, and then they do maybe a same day cancellation. We just want 50% of the booking. It's up to you and how you want to do it. But Gordon, if you look under, what it says is if there's no penalty, people will cancel casually. I talked about that in the beginning of this video. The point of the cancellation policy and having a cancellation fee or a late cancellation fee is so that people don't just cancel on you. I have no problem with cancellations that are done on time. But same day cancellations, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm good, or I'm just gonna move forward. We found somebody else. Especially if it's a tactic that says, hey, we found somebody else, because they're giving us a better price. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to just save the booking, you could renegotiate the price. But if you don't want to, you can let them know, well, I do want to let you know that if we do cancel, we will be charging you a cancellation fee. So, we did communicate this multiple times in the message and the text. But you have to let them know that there has to be kind of some type of consequence behind it. Like, it's not that you could run your business model with no cancellation fee, right? You could do that. But going back to what I was saying, people are going to just continue to cancel on you casually. Now, don't get me wrong, people don't just cancel each. You're not going to just have every day where you're just getting canceled on. But when people hear that there is no cancellation fee, right, people will just cancel on you. And you're more likely to keep a client or have a client reschedule. So that's the thing. A lot of times to avoid a cancellation fee, clients will just reschedule. Reschedule is not bad. We're just shifting the money from one date to another date. So rescheduling is everything. We still do want them to reschedule in a good amount of time though. Like we still don't want same day rescheduling, but rescheduling are often are 100% better than cancellations because obviously the potential to make that revenue is still there. So with that being said, you do want to make sure that you have a cancellation fee. I have a cancellation fee for my strategy as well. So I do actually do this one here. I do 50% if you miss the 24-hour window, and I do 100% of the same day cancellation. The next one is always collect card on file. This is the last one. This is very important. This is a non-negotiable. Now, I think if you go watch my previous videos, and I should have said this in the beginning, watch my previous videos because a lot of times the information stack upon one another. So if something I talk about now is probably something I've also made a video before about. Collect cards on file. We are a remote cleaning business. We cannot be chasing people down for money. It's just as simple as that. And whether it be payment or a cancellation fee, we can't sit here and try to chase people down for the money that we're owed. So instead of doing that, you need to get a credit or debit on file. Have a credit or debit on file, save it securely, and to make sure that you're communicating that policy, that cancellation policy up front. Make sure we're communicating that early, especially as they give you the card. Just let them know, like, hey, we have your card. If you do cancel, please give us a 24 to 48 hour notice. If not, we will have to charge you. Where I do it, and the reason I added this is I don't do a booking unless a card is on file. I do not do a booking unless a card is on file. So if there's no card on file, I don't take the booking, personally. I've dealt with too many headaches of not having a card on file, and I just kind of refuse to deal with that headache again. So this is what allows you to actually enforce your policy, right? If you have the card on file, plus the cancellation, right? Plus the cancellation fee that you have, as well. If you let them know and communicate this clearly and communicate it up front, then it helps you enforce your policy. Because now we can say, hey, we talked about it, you knew what the actual charge was, and then we could charge the card and have the card on file as well, and you'll be good to go. So this is my cancellation policy strategy. I just want to talk about it. It's very simple. Like with the cancellation policy, like it doesn't have to be complex, right? Because the more complex it is, the more a client may be able to claim that they didn't know what was really going on. So you don't want to make it complex, right? Just let them know, hey, if you're going to cancel, give us 24 to 40 hour notice. If it's past 24, we'll charge you 50% of the booking. If it's the same day, we charge you 100% of the booking. Or however you would like to do it. Make sure you have that card on file as well, so that if that does happen, you can actually charge the card. Another thing I like to do, this is a gem. And so I say it to say, if you stay to the end of this video, you will receive this gem. Put a hold on the card 24 hours before the actual appointment. And so what will happen is if you put a hold on the card 24 hours before the appointment, sometimes, for example, like I have get a credit or debit. I usually like to get a credit card. You can do credit or debit, but I like to do a credit card because you can put the holds on there. Now, if you put the hold on the card, let's say they cancel 24 hours or a little after 24 hours, all I have to do is sit there and adjust the holds. My money is already secured, so you can't sit there and try to lock your card or lock the amount. The money is already held and secured. I'm just gonna adjust the amount and release the rest and keep what was for me, which might be the 50%, the 50% hold, right? Not 50% hold, but the 50% charge because of the late cancellation. So that's a quick gem that I just wanted to add in. If you add a hold, it's easy to adjust the numbers and make sure that you are 100% getting the revenue that you are owed, especially with the late cancellation. But once again, I want to say thank you for watching this video. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, bell notification, click that button as well. We drop videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Once again, 2 important links. Our school community link is our free link. Both the links are technically free, right? Our school community is free, and then our actual one-on-one consultations are free as well. I just use the consultation to pretty much talk to people, see where they need help, and see how I can be of service to you guys as well. So I just want to say thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video.